Hello students, once again we have come to our online classes. Uh, we are doing political parties and I have already explained the regional parties, and in the last class I explained the coalition government, why and how the coalition government is formed. So as we all know that in absence of absolute majority, when no single political party gets absolute majority, then coalition government is formed to save the public money, because in absence of absolute majority, the election can be conducted. There are two options. One is election can be conducted, another one is coalition government can be formed. But conducting election, it is not easy. It requires huge amount of money, and again if the election is to be conducted for the absence of absolute majority, that means simply the public money will be wasted. And that is why most of the democratic countries having multi-party system, they prefer to have the coalition government. And coalition government is having nowadays, it has great significance, because countries multi-party system where there is absence of absolute majority, and the countries prefer coalition government. So there are merits and demerits of coalition government. Merits which go in favor, that means which supports the coalition government, the points which are in favor of the coalition government, and the demerits, the points which go against the coalition government. So here first the demerits. Demerits are given in page number 12. So we will do the demerits first. Now it is given unstable and short-lived. Coalition government is unstable and short-lived. Why it is unstable and short-lived? The politicians, the political philosophers, those who put forwarded the points against the coalition government, they say that coalition government is unstable. There is no stability of coalition government, and it is short-lived. That means it is a temporary government. It cannot run for longer period. Why? Because coalition government means it is the combination of few parties, few like-minded parties. They come together, they ally and form the government. Now, when few parties form the government, each party will try to fulfill its aims, its goal. And in case the parties, the coalition partners, those who come and form the government, those who support and together and form the government, they are called coalition partner. Now, when and if any coalition partner withdraw its support, few parties they support, few partners they support and form the government. So till the support is there, government will run. But once if one party or two parties withdraw their support, then the government will fall. Government will not have the majority. And if the party will not have the majority, that means cannot form the government. That means government may fall. So though the tenure is 5 years, but when the coalition government is formed, anytime government may fall. Whenever any coalition partner is not satisfied, when a coalition partner's aim is not fulfilled, then the partner may withdraw the support. One or two coalition partner means parties may withdraw their support and the remaining parties may not have the absolute majority and government will collapse. And that is why it is said that the coalition government is short-lived and it is unstable. There is no stability. Anytime it may fall. Whenever the coalition partner, whenever the party supporters withdraw their support, the government will fall. It may happen at any time. So there is no stability of coalition government. Okay? Then the second point, second demerit is weak government. The government, the coalition government, it is said that it is a weak government. Why it is weak government? The government is formed with few political parties. And when a government is formed with few political parties, then to remain in power, the government will try to satisfy each coalition partner, each supporter with whom the government is formed. And in doing so, the government cannot take any bold decision, because the government has to satisfy each coalition partner, each parties who support to form the government. When the government is formed with a single political party, not the coalition government, then that government can take a strong decision, because it need not have to satisfy any political party. Whatever is for the national interest, government can take such a decision. But here in the coalition government, the government has to satisfy the each supporter, each political parties, those who are in the formation of the government, those who form the government. Together they form the government, few parties together they form the government, and the government has to satisfy each party. And that is why it cannot take any strong decision, it cannot do anything strongly, boldly. There is always a fear that if such party is not satisfied, they may withdraw the support. If this party is not satisfied, may withdraw the support. So government becomes weak. Clear? Now third point is difficulty in adopting long-term scheme. This point is almost connected with this other point. Now government is weak, point number 2, and point number 1 is it is short-lived. It is an unstable government. It has no stability. At any time government may fall. And in that situation, government cannot take any long-term scheme. Long-term planning cannot be made, because government also knows any time government may fall, any time the coalition partners may withdraw their support. Government has to satisfy them. If the government has to remain in power, then government has to satisfy them, the coalition partners. Otherwise, they will withdraw their support and government will fall, government will collapse. And so, in this coalition government, it is difficult to adopt any long-term planning or long-term schemes. Alright? Ambition of the member parties. The member parties, as I said, the coalition partner, those who come together and form the government, they are called the coalition partner or the member parties. Now, when the coalition government is formed, few parties together, they come and ally, and each party has their some ambitions, some goal, some aims, and they'll try to fulfill their aims, they'll try to attain their goal. And government also knows that unless he gives importance to that the coalition partners or member parties, they will withdraw the support and government will collapse. And so in coalition government, the government who is in power try to fulfill the aims, try to give importance on the ambitions of the partners, members, or the coalition partners. And in doing so, the next point it will get, it will hamper the national interest. Government, when the government has to give importance to each political parties who form the government, their needs, their ambition, their goal, their aims, then naturally it will harm the national interest, which is in point number 5. It becomes a big threat of national interest. The interest of the nation, the national development, the national interest will hamper because of the selfish interest. And what is the selfish interest? Selfish interest is the government has to satisfy the coalition partners, otherwise the government will collapse, government will fall. So to remain in power, government has to be busy in fulfilling the coalition partners' aims, their ambition, their goal, and thus national interest may harm. Now, this is national interest. Already I explained in this ambition of the member parties. And the point number 6, expensive. Coalition government also becomes expensive. In what way it becomes expensive? As I said, coalition government is there are the member parties. Few parties together form the government. And to satisfy them, from different parties, portfolios are given to different parties, ministers are taken from the different parties. Whenever it is not required, also unnecessarily, to show that importance, to give them the importance, to show that the government has given them importance of that particular party, or since they form the government, they also should come to the administration, they also have to come to be the minister, they should get the portfolios, and for various reasons the government unnecessarily they just enlarge the cabinet or the ministry. Sometimes it may not require, but to satisfy the coalition partner, ministers are taken, and then given the different portfolios just to satisfy them. Simply the ministry is enlarged. So that way it becomes also expensive. Coalition government also becomes expensive. Okay, so these are the demerits. Then we'll do the merits. Now first, merit means the points which go in favor of the alliance government. situational. Now it is said that alliance government is suitable for the requirements of the political situation. Now when the political situation is changed, then according to the requirement, when the coalition government is formed, that means it becomes suitable. According to the requirement, the government is formed. That means the alliance government becomes suitable for the situation, political situation. And as this way, it becomes, and it is said that it's sustained. Coalition government, it is sustained for longer period because the government is formed according to the political situation, and as a result, it goes for longer period. It's sustained for longer period. It becomes a stable government. In demerits, you have got it is unstable government. But again, the supporters, they say that no, it is not unstable government, since it is suitable for the political situation, so it becomes more stable. Okay. And point number 2, non-autocratic government. Non-autocratic. The supporters of the coalition government say that a coalition government is non-autocratic government. There is no dictatorship. It is not the dictatorial government, because when the government is formed by a single political party, then there is every possibility for the government to become a dictator, to become an autocrat. Auto means self. Autocrat means a ruler who does according to his own wish or choice. Now, when the government is formed by a single political party, then importance is given on the party interest of that political party, interest of the ruling party. So the ruling party, since they are in power, so whatever decision is taken, it is in favor of the ruling party. That means ruling party gets more importance. Thus, the government becomes autocrat in a single, when a government is formed by a single political party. But when a coalition government is formed, it is a government of many parties or few parties, not a single political party. And that is why when the government is formed by a few political parties, then no political party becomes autocrat, and the government also does not get an opportunity to rule according to his own choice, because he has to give importance on all the coalition partners. Otherwise, they will withdraw their support and government will collapse. So there is no possibility to have an autocratic government in coalition government. Then regional representation. Point number 3. Now, those who support the coalition government, they say that it is the coalition government where the small and the regional party, the smaller parties, also get an opportunity to take part in the administration, because the regional political parties, they do not have an opportunity. They cannot form the government because they are the regional political party. And when a coalition government is formed, when the regional party support, with the support of the regional parties or few regional parties, when the government is formed, then when the regional representation is there, then that regional party also get an opportunity to have their representation in the government. Otherwise, they cannot think of forming the government, or they cannot think of having representation in the government, in the administration. Because of the coalition government, the smaller parties, the local parties, the regional parties also can think of that to get an opportunity to take part in the administration, to have their representation in the government. So this is point number 3. Then point number 4, safeguarding national unity and integrity. It is the coalition government through which different political parties, the national political parties, the big parties and the small parties, maybe the local parties, maybe the regional parties, they come to a same platform. When the government is formed only with that national party, then there is always a gap. There is always some differences between the regional party and the national party. Regional party cannot get an opportunity to have the representation in forming the government, but it is because of the coalition government, the regional parties, the small parties, they come together with the national party and they form the government, and thus there is integrity and unity. That means coalition government strengthen the unity and integrity. And then reducing misuse of public money. That is already, I think in my previous class I already explained that in forming the coalition government, it reduces the wastage of public money, because in absence of absolute majority, when the election is conducted again and again, huge money is wasted. Crores and crores of rupees is wasted, because after conducting the second term election, there is no assurance that in the conducting the second term election, a single party will get absolute majority. If no party gets absolute majority in the conducting the second term election, that means third time, then fourth time, then it will go on. And thus, money will be simply wasted in the name of conducting election. And instead of conducting election again and again, when the coalition government is formed, then it saves huge amount of public money. And so, it is favorable to have coalition government when there is no absolute majority, when there is no single party gets absolute majority. Okay, student, today we have come to the conclusion, explanation of this lesson, and in my next class I'll give you all the question answers. Okay, all right.